Hey guys, welcome to Broad Street to Britain, a UK Phillies show with me, Dave Shaw, and as ever, joined by Richard Skinner and Alex Carr. How are we, gents? Richard, good Easter?
Yeah, it's been fun. Been quite busy. I was down in London this weekend, so I got to check out the Passion Kit Battersea actually for the first time, which was really cool. Speaking to the guy who runs that,
JP?
so we're talking Phil to it. That's the one. Yeah, he said say hi. So we're talking all things Phillies and his plans for some cool events down there for the baseball. So I just wanted to keep in mind.
Yeah, if you are down in London, so the Battersea site, I know JP, in fact, every time I come to Philly, he's usually there at the same time as well. It's usually quite crazy how we end up linking up, but great guy. It's not JP Tetty, it's JP, I think it's Pastoran. I can't know. I'm going to attempt his second name. I'm going to butcher it. But he's a great guy. And if you do get to the Battersea site, absolutely, Passyunk are planning some great events down there. I will be there this weekend for the marathon. Alex, how are you, buddy? Good Easter?
Yeah, good enough. Didn't do a lot of celebrating, but watched a lot of baseball. I mean, I'm Jewish, so it doesn't always ring out as a celebratory time. But no, really good. Nice to have off work and nice to be here chatting some baseball, even though maybe things didn't go the way that we all might have wanted them to.
Yeah, well, I was just saying, like, it was a series win, a much needed series win against a team who usually derails our season, but it didn't feel great. Yeah. Should we dive into it? Let's get into this Marlins series because it's a series win. Should have been a sweep. Should have been 4 wins straight for the Phils. We should have been talking going to this Mets series on a real high boost of confidence. And the bats, yeah, sure, but the bullpen is a problem, and it's a shame. Game 1, Wheeler pitched excellent. Was it 13 strikeouts?
Yep.
Just 2 earned runs allowed. Wheeler's back. I felt that was a Wheeler back dominance. Yeah, 2 earned runs allowed, but
I mean that Marlins lineup is pretty bad.
It's terrible.
It's pretty bad.
It's really. I don't even recognize half the names. I'm not going to lie.
Pretty bad.
And their pitchers, I swear, were just made up names half the time. I never heard of any of these guys, and it was a real. And then, in fact, all the starting pitchers went well. Tyon Walker, I know he had 4 innings, which was a real shame. Expected to be back for his next start, but again, Tyon Walker looked locked in. It's a shame that we had to go to the bullpen because he was 4 innings, 1 earned run, 2 strikeouts. Good by far. If that was just a normal performance from him, we'd be singing and dancing. It's
good,
brilliant. You can't ask any more from Ty Young. Yep. The bats came alive. Yesterday, Luzardo, again, excellent from Luzardo. Exactly what we needed. And Saturday, Sunday, the bullpens imploded. What's going on? And before we get into that, I am going to do one little caveat, one little solace of hope, which I saw on Twitter of all places. John Stolnis tweeted this, and I thought it was a little bit interesting. In April last year, the Phillies bullpen ERA was 5.42, the first worst in baseball. In May, the bullpen's ERA went from 5.42 to an MLB best of 2.13. There's a slight glimmer of hope there. However, I don't feel great about this bullpen compared to last year's, Alex.
No, the main problem is what the main problem was last year and the year prior, is that you're going to end up using your top 3 guys way more often than you should be. And it is going to start to show sooner rather than later, especially in the case of Matt Strahm, who is, I think he's made 11 appearances in the Phillies' first, what are we at, 20 games now?
22 games.
22 games. That's, like, you cannot, especially at the start of the season, you can't have one of your most reliable arms pitching in half the games that you play. That simply is not going to be sustainable. If he's pitching an inning, every one of those games, sometimes Strahm even goes for longer, that's going to be, 80, 81 innings by the end of the year. That is not the norm for a standard setup bullpen arm. Same can be said for Jose Alvarado. Same can be said for Ryan Kirkring, who for God's sakes, if people are just going to keep complaining about Ryan Kerkering, I'm going to off myself. I can't. A great reliever is allowed to have a bad day. I cannot stress this enough.
It was just the worst possible time.
Of course it was, and it always is. But that's what's going to happen if you continue to throw your best guys out there in every possible situation that you can. And that's the problem. So the real issue is Joe Ross, Joe
Ross,
Jose Ruiz, Carlos Hernandez, and whoever else you want. Tanner Banks, for goodness sakes. Like, these are not guys that are capable of pitching high leverage innings. They are not. And Jose Ruiz has proven that. Listen, I am a fan, but I'm a fan as like the 5th reliever on the roster, not as like a guy that will sometimes take on, high leverage innings, because he has a fly ball problem. We all know this. We've known this. It's been the case throughout his career. The curveball's great. Awesome that he's adding a changeup. The velocity's decent. He is not a guy that you should be expecting to get high leverage innings. It's just like Seranthony Dominguez. You cannot expect this guy to take on high leverage innings. And the same, goodness gracious, Joe Ross should only be used in like cleanup scenarios or scenarios where you need to stretch him for an inning or two. Like, that is what I thought his role was going to be. Trying to pretend like he's more than that is ridiculous. Carlos Hernandez, you're trying to catch lightning in the bottle here, right? Like, these are not guys that you want to see take on high leverage innings. But then who takes the pressure off the top 3? And
there is nobody right now, is there? Absolutely nobody.
That is where Dave Dombrowski went totally wrong. I've been saying this since the start of the season, since even prior to the start of the season. It doesn't matter if you let Jeff Hoffman and Carlos Estevez go, but not replacing them with other arms is where you go wrong. And you went into this season with a significantly worse bullpen. And that's like, it's awesome if Jordan Romano is going to be like hey, let's take a flyer on this guy. Like, let's give it a shot, right? He cannot be your Jeff Hoffman replacement. He cannot be your Carlos Estevez replacement. And now the Phillies are in a major pickle where they have to deal with this bullpen for, at least another 2 months until teams are ready to start moving relief arms. And then you're going to be trading away half your farm system to try and acquire some of these guys. A Mason Miller, an Andres Munoz, a Griffin Jacks, right? That's the one that I'm praying. Thank goodness he's having a terrible season, because, man, if they can swing a trade for Griffin Jacks early, I would be over the moon. This is a guy that they've been on before, but it is not looking good. It is looking like we are down an worse trade deadline than we have in years past.
And to rub salt in the wound, Seranthony Dominguez has had to start the season of his life. And have 3
not
hits,
sustainable,
0 earned runs in 7 innings. Hoffman is out there to prove everybody wrong. There's like,
but everybody go look at Gregory Soto.
Done well for the Royals.
Go look at Gregory Soto, and you'll be fine. And then
that was the one of my comfort is
Gregory
Soto.
And enjoy the fact that the Phillies did get a consensus top 100 prospect in Major League Baseball in that trade. Like, again, they're aiming to build a sustainable winner here, as well as a World Series contender. So take it or leave it. But that's the thing. It's so easy to replace Seranthony Dominguez. It is. They just didn't, and that's the real problem. Is that they for some reason Dave Dombrowski is so averse to making a splash in the relief market. And I get it. They are volatile, but sometimes you have to bet on that volatility. You have to. Otherwise, you need to develop it from within. And right now, there's just not that. Max Lazar, Michael Mercado, those are the guys that you are going to be counting on to, step up. And they have not shown signs of really stepping up yet. So again, we've talked about this before, but in the postseason, it's not so much of a problem, right? You've got a lot of starting pitchers that are going to be moving to your bullpen, and that's going to make a huge difference in like how you utilize guys. The big problem is the regular season. You got to get to the postseason first. And that's, that's the big issue here.
Richard, would you, I think it's have to come to a point at trade deadline where we may have to lose one or more of our top prospects to fix this mess, which is what it is right now.
Yeah.
What would you do? Like, Mason Miller is going to cost us Crawford or Miller
That's generous.
ring cones, paint. Well, painters.
They're gonna gun for Andy Painter. They're not gonna get him, but they're gonna gun for him. So they're gonna be like, "Hey, if you're not gonna give us Andy Painter, give us 2 of your top prospects." And it's
Do you
not
think Bone could be in conversations? Like
hell no.
like any first teamers? Like what do we?
That's the other thing that people don't seem to understand. And I see all these awful takes on Twitter that are like, the Phillies need to move on immediately from Alec Boehm and Brendan Marsh. And this.
Yeah, I've been sucked into it. I'm not gonna lie.
There's literally why are you creating another hole on a roster that already, like, to fill another hole, you're just making another hole. It doesn't make any sense. And it also doesn't make any sense from that other team's perspective. Like, the Athletics don't want a 28-year-old third baseman. The Athletics don't want a 28-year-old center fielder. They want a 21-year-old center fielder, a 21-year-old third baseman.
Yeah, especially as they're about to build a whole new franchise.
Right. So it doesn't make any sense, and these are guys. This is the roster that they are going to move forward with. They're not going to make these sweeping, major league roster changes. That's not what they need to do. Play with the hand out.
So Richard, welcome to the Phillies in the first month of the new season.
I got asked that question. I was like, okay, I'm answering it then.
This is it. Like, what do you make of it so far? I know this is your first. Obviously, keep saying your first.
Yeah.
In the Phils.
I mean, obviously, it's
been rough.
Yeah, pain is probably the right way for the bullpen at times. I mean, yeah, we've got some guys doing really well. Like, I would agree with Alex. Like, Kirkering is not one to worry about. Like, he's going to be fine. Alvarado's been great, strong. Like, he's looked good. I know he gave a couple the other night, but I mean, obviously going forward, we've got Suarez coming back. I think Taiwan's shown enough where he'll be serviceable in the bullpen at the very least, if not a good option. Certainly, if you need someone to pitch a few innings, maybe. Andrew Painter later in the year as well, potentially going to be option. I think we spent a lot of time saying, right, it doesn't really matter how we do in April and May and whatever, it's how we do in September. And then as soon as, and by the way, the Phillies aren't doing that bad. Like, the record, yes, it could be better.
That's the other thing.
It could be better. It's not that bad.
It's like, come on. They're
so,
still
like, I think we can't say,
echelon.
yeah, we can't spend the whole offseason saying, oh, it doesn't matter about April, and then we have a few hiccups in April and everyone loses their mind. Like, yes, it could be better, and yes, I'd like to have won every game, but that doesn't happen. Like, the Dodgers have lost some games with high score. I mean, the Orioles lost by like 22 runs last night.
The Red Sox went 4-3 against the White Sox thus far this season. Like, that's insane. The Red Sox are probably one of the best teams in the AL, and they have gotten off to a dreadful start. Like, it happened. Look at the Braves. I mean, it happens. It does.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I think the bats have started to look a bit better. We're joined top for quality starts. We've had 10 quality starts from our rotation. So yeah, things could be better. I think things could be a whole lot worse. So I'm trying to remain positive. If you asked me like straight after the game last night, I would have been a bit more down. But
it was rough. That was a rough one.
It was nearly rough on Saturday as well.
Well, you knew the thing that sucked about Saturday is you knew they weren't. I at least knew they weren't going to lose as soon as Alvarado started warming. Started warming, they had 2 outs. It's like they're not going to lose, but they've already kind of lost in a way because Alvarado, Strahm, and I don't know if Kirkering, but most of those guys won't be available tonight. And that in and of itself, you've conceded this game, essentially. If they do not make this a laugher on the offensive side,
we never hit against McGill.
If they don't make this a laugher on the offensive side, there's no way they win this game.
And this is the Mets team struggling with bats as well. Like this series was quite.
But they keep finding ways to win games. Their pitching staff is tops in the league, and it looks somehow sustainable, which is wild because the rotation is terrible and the bullpen is odd, but somehow they keep finding ways to win games. So yeah, it sucks.
They haven't played the Phils yet, Alex. They haven't played the high.
Well, they have had a pretty easy schedule.
The Broad Street boys are coming to town. The bats have warmed up.
Castellanos is guaranteed a home run as well.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
I know a lot of people will be watching this or listening to this after the game, so he doesn't get one.
Yeah.
I'd be
But
shocked.
I think it's a safe bet.
If he doesn't hit one tonight, I'd be shocked.
Safe bet. My money's on it. Money's down. It's he's also due a little bit as well. So
yeah. He's been playing well though. He's been playing well. He's just not.
Oh, well, let's look to the bats, because the bats are a positive, and the Marlins, thank God for their terrible pitching, because the confidence these boys have taken from the bats has been fantastic. I tell you what, if we had lost that game on Saturday, lost this series with the bats being hot, that would have just been a complete deflation for all of the hitters out there. But Bryson starting leadoff first of all, whoa, transformed. And I said it at the start of the season, like in the preseason shows, Stott's going to be leadoff, not this early on, but this looks like a stroke of genius so far. And look at now, you put Kyle behind Bryce. Bryce is now, they can't pitch away from Bryce with Kyle behind him. So Bryce's bats has all of a sudden come alive as well. All of a sudden, the lineup's clicking. Johan Rojas had a fantastic series. Alec Bowman, a 7-game hit streak. JT finding pop. Kepler's getting multi-hit games and RBIs. Casty's been fantastic this season. Cal Stevenson, Marchand, all contributing. It was a feel for the bats. It was definitely feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, Rojas shouldn't have been taken out that game the other night. I'm sorry. Like that was. He's got the best. He's got the best batting average on our team. I know it's not sustainable, but
I do think that there's something to the idea of giving them a hitter that they have less data on. And especially, Bender has really rough splits from lefties to righties. So I get it. I definitely get it. The numbers definitely say make that change. So I kind of agree. But also it would have in the long run probably been the better decision.
I think, the best.
Nobody could have predicted that game was going to extras. And
True.
I know, the best thing with Rojas is if he does get on base, like, he's causing chaos. I mean, there was the trying to steal third the other night. There was probably he shouldn't have done that probably, but in that situation, he scored a couple of runs where if it was Marsh or Stevenson or whoever, like it would if he had the speed to get those runs in, then no one else would have done.
Well, that Marlins catching core is dreadful. So and it's only getting worse with Agustin Ramirez coming up, who he's great, but I mean, he can't really catch, so it's only getting worse. So I don't know. That probably would have been wiser to leave Rojas in there, but again, that's like hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
But I do think that ultimately like you mentioned, Dave, Stott in the leadoff spot, huge. But this is how the lineup's supposed to look. Like this is what you're supposed to get. You need to have some of these bigger. It is unfortunate that Kyle's going to get less RBIs out of the 4-hole, but also, like, is he? Because this lineup has been really grinding out at bats. Especially Stott at the top. He's been great grinding out at bats. And I feel like you're almost somewhat guaranteed to get, at least the first time through the order, to get to the 4-hole in that first turn through the order because of like who you're placing up top. So I don't know. I tweeted a while ago before this Marlins series where he just went absolutely ballistic. I was like, the best version of Bryson Stott is the one that is comfortable grinding out at bats and taking a walk.
Yeah.
And he did exactly that in this past series. And that's where he's going to find every bit of success that he's going to want. And he's also, I think right now, the Phillies' top FWAR earner on the team. 99% sure. I will double check that.
Not to my hand. I've got that.
State those clips.
One of the things I love about Rojas,
he is not, but he's close.
Near the top. We'll count it.
He's number 3.
With Rojas getting on so much now, the speed you've got with him, Stott, and then Turner when the lineup flips over as well, it's chaos on the base paths as well. And you saw mistakes from the Marlins infield as well because they don't know where to look. It's speed kills, as we keep saying. And then you've got the big bat of Bryce, who's really come alive. Also, the weather's warming up. Usually we find that with the fields and with the pitching as well, actually, that in general, when the weather warms up, the fields warm up, they get hot. But this lineup right now is exactly, as you just said, what we hope for. 18 hits on Saturday's game. Everybody but Casty hit, but Casty still got the RBI with the, with the sac fly. And it was how many doubles? Is it the amount of doubles like Boma, JT, Rojas getting doubles in that Saturday game? I think Stott had one, Turner, Harper. There's no big long ball, but the Phils are finding different ways of scoring, which is very encouraging. And they're taking strikes, they're taking balls. The plate discipline is so much better, and that's one of the best things for me this season. Looking is that they're taking pitches, they're seeing more pitches. I think it was Bryce or Casti saying that now they're taking pitches and seeing more pitches. They feel better with their at bats. Who could have guessed?
Yeah,
where was that last season in the playoffs? But
will it be there this season?
A lot of encouragement there.
Let's see. But yeah, no, and Castellanos, I think is the linchpin right now in this offense. He really is, and that's a crazy thing to say, but he's only rocking I'm only saying this because I have the numbers right in front of me. He's rocking an 18.2K% this year. That's crazy. That's absolutely unbelievable. It's really the turnaround that he's made is really impressive, and I think that it's really important that the remainder of this club is also doing the same, and that's really great to see. If that sticks in the postseason, remains to be seen. But we do keep those fingers crossed and hope that this version of the team brings itself into the postseason, because this is great baseball. It's really good.
Talking of turnarounds, Richard, Alec Bohm, 7-game hit streak, and even before he hit this hit streak, he's been unlucky. He's had some very hard contact that's just not dropped. And it's sometimes baseball is about luck. He just really hasn't had it in the first half of the season till now. Now his at bats look comfortable. He doesn't strike out a ton much either. It's a bit too many grounders for my liking, but hard contact off the bat. Again, just a lot of bad luck. Now it's starting to come through. And like I said, preseason, I'm happy for Boma to keep getting these doubles, keep driving runs in. The long ball, it's now becoming a bit of a bonus if he does hit a home run. But I still think he can get to 90 RBI plus by this small ball that he gives us and driving in runs. It's great to see him with a smile on his face again, and great to see the Boma that we know he can be.
Yeah, 100%. Just first of all, if I looked slightly annoyed there, it's because Nick Hurst has been called up and I missed out on him on fantasy.
Oh,
I don't know if your phone was going off just the same.
Yeah, my phone was going. I
was like, I need to pick him up, and I just seen that he's already gone 7 minutes ago.
Well,
I nearly picked him up yesterday, but
I'm gonna pick him up in my other league then.
He got called up like literally 7 minutes ago.
Have him in my one league. I need to pick him up in my other one now.
Very quick. Sorry for that distraction. Everyone's going on all the leagues trying to pick him up. Bones look good. Bones look really good. I'm curious, do we think if he continues to get back to where he was, how long might it be before we see him move back up the lineup? Do we think that's an option? Do we keep Nick there?
I think Stott at leadoff has kind of mitigated anything that you might need from Bohm hitting 3. It really has. And in fact, I think I would.
But I was thinking maybe like behind Schwarber, or do we keep Nick there? And
no, I think Nick stays there for as long as Nick is playing the way that he is. I think Nick stays there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him bump up to like 6, especially versus a lefty. But I think he's going to stay on that bottom half at least until Bryson Stott shows like any sign of struggle from that leadoff spot, because he's killing it up there.
You can't like the lineup right now. Everyone seems to know their place, and everyone seems quite comfortable right now. Like Alex said, until things start going a little bit skew with,
sure. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it's exactly that, and it's working because JT and Kepler are getting on base, and Boma can bring him in. Rojas comes up, gets on base, it turns around again to Stott and Turner, who are firing a hot bat. Bryce. The lineup's just working. It's really, really. I know it's only the Marlins. The Marlins are terrible. I think we'll get a proper taste today. I think the lineup actually is the same as it was yesterday from what I've seen at first glance, which has been successful. Hopefully the bats are confident and they can carry us through to the next series. This is going to be the proper test now. Proper test of the season, really. Where are we? The bullpen worries me. The good thing is we've got Nola, who can hopefully go 7. We need our starters to really put in a grind in this series and try and get 6-7 innings, because we can't. And I think we've got Nola Sanchez must be going as well, where we can get longevity out of him, and then Walker on the UK friendly, which okay, we'll see how far he can go. But
it's down for Zach Wheeler.
I wouldn't be
on
surprised.
Wednesday.
Yeah, they're probably gonna skip Walker.
Probable pitches
Oh,
is
it was
Nola
Walker. Yeah,
Sanchez
no,
Wheeler.
okay, yeah. Yeah,
I'd
because
imagine.
the day off on Thursday, haven't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we
Yeah.
got the Cubs, which will be another tough series.
And that's the other thing. I think that they are
Yeah.
going to probably I'd imagine, because I don't see any way you take Taijuan Walker out of this rotation when he's auditioning the way that he currently is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I think that the biggest thing that is going to the biggest thing that's going to happen for the Phillies at the trade deadline is some team is going to bite on Taijuan Walker and save you a bunch of salary relief on top of, because the Phillies probably won't have to pay it down all that much.
That's the ideal scenario, right?
They
Especially
just want
Painter
to
will be on
part
the
with him.
horizon by then.
And I really think that's, the biggest move they could possibly make at the trade deadline is Taijuan Walker performing to a place where another team just wants to take on the salary and give you a fringe flyer prospect. And then you can say,
we want Ty Young in the bullpen.
no,
Like if he's that good, he's still useful, right?
No. Especially not in a playoff scenario. Absolutely not. Like he is
true.
He is not going to make that playoff roster no matter what, because the rest of your rotation is going into the bullpen, right? And so Andrew Painter can fulfill anything. I would rather see a rotating carousel of Andrew Painter, Mick Abel, Seth Johnson, whoever else, Alan Rangel. No, but
Richard's very high on Griffin. I'm telling you, it's never going to happen.
Alan Rangel.
If Griffin Gary ever makes it to the majors with the Phillies,
he will make it he'll make it to the majors. I do think that there is something. I think the reason that he's starting at the moment, Matt Winkelman and I were talking about this a lot, because there's not a lot of information on Griff right now and what he has changed, what he's working on, etc. But I think he's pitching out of the rotation so that they can try and iron out his mechanics, try and make it repeatable for as long as possible, give him extended outings to do that. And then they'll hope that bumping him back to the bullpen will, bring that stuff all the way back up to where you want to see it. But he's definitely 100% not a rotation guy at all. That is not happening ever at all. Period. End. Never happening. I just want to put the kibosh on that as quickly as possible. But I would rather see a rotating carousel of prospects being your number 6 starter than Taijuan Walker. Like 100%.
That's true.
Because you want to get out from under that contract because it gives you more financial flexibility for next season. And the Phillies have shown that they're comfortable doing that in parting with Greg Soto, Sir Anthony Dominguez. You kind of now get to do that same thing with Taijuan Walker.
Especially as Ruben Amaro quoted on the WIP, it's saying that Painter looks like the next Paul Skeens. Which...
He looks ridiculous. he's going. It's not Paul Skeens. It's more Logan Gilbert. It's like definitely.
I'll take it.
Like he is a huge. He's 6'7", very imposing figure. He's got great ride on the fastball, really good secondaries. Like he is a very good pitcher, and it's going to be really exciting to add him towards the second half. I do wish they could wait to add him till the start of next season, because then they get a shot.
We don't have that time though, do we?
No, you're in win now mode. But then you get a shot at an extra first round draft pick, which is like
just before we look
really
before we look at the AAA and Richards free hot, free not. Brendan Marsh, it's a phantom injury stint, right?
I don't know. He looked like he was hurt. He definitely he grimaced when he hit the turf. So I don't know. I feel like it could be an injury, but it's definitely labeled incorrectly. If it's a hamstring issue, I feel like it's
I don't think it's a hamstring. Which
it's got to be a knee.
Which is why I thought phantom. He's gonna have to go to AAA, right, to have some rehab, possibly. Do you think it's wise for him? I think they've got to.
Depends.
He's got to find confidence. He needs at bats where he can get on base, find a bit of confidence. Surely they're going to put him in AAA before they fire him back to the major league.
Could be, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see him get a rehab stint, but no, it's rough right now. It's really unfortunate, and I think that this is the kind of situation where a guy loses confidence and then starts to spiral. And it's really tough to see a guy of his disposition and his positivity and his, energy, kind of fall victim to that. But it also kind of makes you realize how humanizing this sport is. And
absolutely, yeah. His whole demeanor looks just a stark contrast. And I'm going to put it out there. I hate the way social media have jumped all over him and now knocking him down. This guy was an absolute god last season to everybody.
With all of them,
and now everyone's not everyone, but I'm seeing so many people turn on him. Like people completely miss the human side of it completely. I saw his sister getting involved in arguments on social media, rightly so, sticking up for Brandon against people who are just going. Not only criticize it, criticism's fine. Yeah, constructive criticism, facts, but being nasty, like borderline, like this is too far.
It's 36 at bats. It is a minuscule sample size, and there are so many players in baseball that are struggling. At least he's not Jock Peterson. Like
now,
Jock Peterson is signed to a large contract for one of the best offenses, what was supposed to be one of the best offenses in baseball, and is struggling. He's the worst player in baseball right now.
Well, look at the Mets having to give Juan Soto the standing O. The other night.
It's a very, very unfortunate thing, but it's also something that I don't foresee. Again, I think Brandon Marsh is a very good baseball player, and I think that is ultimately what you have to believe if you want to see him succeed.
Yeah, this abuse and stuff, like
it sucks.
His back. Let's support the guy. Like what's going on? I know we can be harsh on our athletes and hard, but this is the slating he's got is just slightly too much. I don't agree with it whatsoever. Before we look at the Mets series, Richard, 3 hots, 3 nuts.
Yeah, I thought I'd go the other way around this week, so we finish on a bit of positivity. I don't think the knots we need to say too much about. We got Carlos Hernandez, Joe Ross, and Jordan Romano. I don't think there's any more to say about that. And weirdly, actually, I know we missed a week last week, and Romano was actually going to make it into my hots that week. I think he threw 3 scoreless game, like 3 scoreless innings, and I thought maybe he's back. Right, or at least not back, but I was like, it's a positive, it's a step in the right direction, and that's he's missed that opportunity. 3 hots, I think, like Bowman was close, Rojas was close, Schwarber is like is it like 27 games now? He's got on base. Like,
he's nearing. Crazy. I want him to get the team record because hasn't Herrera got it? Odubel Herrera?
Probably.
I think he's got it in the 40s, so I'm hoping Kyle keeps going.
Yep.
That
record.
Exactly.
Number one, I'm going to stick with my guy again, Trey Turner. I think he's still doing a great job. The other game the other night when he had, was he have 4 hits the other night?
4 hits, 4 out of 5 against the Marlins. 2 RBI.
I think he hit in every other game apart from one where he still managed to get a walk. So he's looked good. Obviously, like
major
I'd like to see a home run from him, but
his defense.
He had one drop just short. I think with the wind, it looked like he had one that was gone. I think
that was like crazy windy night, wasn't it?
It looked like he was like off the bat, like that was for sure gone, and it dropped just short. So that was a shame for him. Bryson Stott, as we mentioned, he's number 2. He's gone to lead off and done everything you'd want from a lead off guy. And then Bryce Harper. This is what we wanted to see. I wasn't worried so much because it's Bryce and we know, but mildly concerned, shall we say, after the first couple of weeks. But he's eaten up. He is that guy. So he's my number 3.
Yeah,
and it's nice to have 3 bats in there.
Yes, isn't it just? Yeah, and the top 3 in the lineup as well. I was saying last show, I just missed that Bryce Harper moments. I love his every home run he hits is fantastic, and now he has come alive. We knew it wasn't far away. Man, I need some Bryce Harper moments this week. We've got
the only slight shame has been that it seems to be we're now starting strong and finishing West Strom, which is the exact opposite to what it was earlier in the year. Like, we didn't do anything against starting pitching, and then against the bullpen we exploded, and now it seems to be the opposite. But
we have.
I think overall we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, we have, because my whole Marlins series, all the damage was done early against the starters in the bullpen, and these made up names came in, and we just. We couldn't do anything, and then we give up. Of course, we give up a home run to a guy in his first start. The first guy pitching strikes out. Well, and he struck out the side. It was just a very Phillies all round that series. Quickly before we look ahead, to the Mets, AAA, the Pigs. They're still hot. The Pigs are hot right now.
6 in a row, I think. They've won.
Something like that.
Yeah, they lost the first game to Rochester 10-1, but since then, like the total, including that 10-1 loss, they outscored them 43-23.
There you go.
Kemp's been
heating up.
a little bit.
His average has risen quite a bit in the last.
He had one really good game. He still had a game where he went over 6.
Shaking his head. Come on, Alex, break
still
it.
no home runs. Kemp's looked good.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm saying Crawford's heating up. I am not on board with him bringing him up anytime soon whatsoever.
He's not ready.
Guy, apparently, so what I'm hearing is Crawford's been quite a slow starter every jump he's made. So this is kind of expected. So this Crawford talk of getting him up early is in the bin, right?
Anybody that says anything remotely related to that has no idea about anything having to do with evaluating a prospect, nor understanding what it means to be a major league ready baseball player, nor they look at a piece of paper, they say, oh, that's good, I'd rather that. They have no, I'm going to start swearing. They have no effing clue. Like, Justin Crawford is still hitting everything on the ground. Justin Crawford gets bailed out a lot by his speed. He is not a complete baseball player whatsoever at this point. And he's not even close. Like, there is not even... It would be a disaster to call Justin Crawford up. You would be overexposing him immediately. You would be... He has no chance against Major League pitching right now. Everything is hit on the ground. Everything's hit hard. He hits it hard. He just hits it on the ground. And Major League infielders will snare it every single time. He is not nearly ready.
Unless you're Otto Lopez.
There is not a chance. Well, yes, unless you're Otto Lopez. But that's not a Major League infielder, one could argue. There is not a chance in hell that he will be ready this year at all. There are no sweeping changes that could be made where Justin Crawford would be ready. Period. End. It's not happening. And the fact that people want to clamor for something that is worse than what you already have, again, it's that shiny new toy syndrome. You cannot make those kinds of statements when you don't know who you're talking about. Like, Justin Crawford hits everything on the ground. Everything. And until that changes, he should not be called up by the Phillies. Not even, and he's still, the glove is still a work in progress as well. He has the potential to be a plus defender in center field, maybe even plus, who is to say? His dad certainly was. But it's not ready. He's not ready. This is already an aggressive promotion to AAA. Will he be ready eventually? Sure. Right? But he is not ready in the slightest. Not even close.
On Gabriel, that's it. Deep breath from Alex. Gabriel Rincon's watch, 74 at bats so far this season, averaging 2.57, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs, 1 stolen base, an OPS of .764. Doing just fine.
Still hitting everything incredibly hard. So,
yeah, and I was going to say his exit velocity has been phenomenal.
Still hitting everything very hard.
Is it's not even warming up yet. People are saying when it starts to warm up, that ball's going to fly. This guy could really take off. Do you see Gabriel perhaps being could he? It's going to be injuries pending, of course. Mm-hmm. I don't see him getting in the way, but could he be the next man up? Were you surprised at Cal Stevenson, by the way, with such a low average? He has experience.
He's on the 40-man roster. That's literally all it is. He is on the 40-man roster. Rinconis and Otto Kemp and guys of that.
Yeah, you got to make room, haven't you? Yeah,
that is genuinely what it is. They're also not going to bring up any of these guys if they're not going to get at bats, right? If they bring up some of these guys and they add them to the 40-man roster and it's a thing, it's because somebody's hurt seriously and they're making some actual shift and these guys are going to get at bats, right? But no, I think there is no world in which either of those two guys get called up because Weston Wilson is going to be ready soon. And all this conjecture about Otto Kemp is starting left field. We all see what's going on here. No, we don't. That's not what's happening at all. They're playing Otto Kemp in left field because Otto Kemp can't play anywhere else. Otto Kemp is a positionless
No, he's
player
locked
at the
out,
moment.
right?
What do you mean?
He can't. Infield's locked out. He's not going to get
more
in
than
there.
that, he doesn't play many infield positions very well. Like, he is a glorified utility man, but he does not play. It is by opportunity because he is just being plugged places and they're like, ooh, can you play here? And most of the time the answer is no. Like, he is probably a corner outfield first baseman that can stand it. Like, think about when Matt Vierling played third base. That's kind of like how you would want Otto Kemp to play third base. Like, he is not a third baseman. And it's all these people saying all these things where they think they know what they're talking about, but they don't. Otto Kemp does not have a real designated spot where he can play because he's not a great glove. He can hit. The guy can hit. Do not get me wrong. But they're putting him in left field because they want to try him there. And because it could be an eventuality, right? But why? Max Kepler is there. They have a hole in center field. They don't have a hole in left field. Like, they're not going to ask Max Kepler to go play center field. That's not happening.
It's
not happening. No. Not when Nick Castellanos is your right fielder. Like, are we kidding? Oh my goodness, I'm going to explode.
So you're saying that it's unlikely we'll see Rincones for the Phils in June, right? When we're there.
Well, no. In June, maybe.
I'm not meaning now. I mean,
I'm not ruling
as
any
the season.
I mean,
Rincon would have a better chance than
Crawford and Lehigh Valley.
But it is the one problem is that when it comes to Gabe, the Phillies are left-hand heavy already, right? Like, it's a really challenging kind of puzzle to piece together because they don't need a left-handed ringer, they need a right-handed ringer. And Otto Kemp is great for that, but Weston Wilson is going to be back very soon. And
I thought Weston Wilson would be called up ahead of. That's what I mean. Cal Stevenson came up. I was meaning Weston Wilson. I thought was about ready.
He will be. It's going to be Weston eventually, and then unfortunately that probably means Cody Clemens will go elsewhere eventually as well.
It's a shame. And obviously out for Cody.
Yeah, I love Cody, but unfortunately,
obviously we're getting another left-hander in Cal Tucker next year as well. So
man, his price is skyrocketing now. I've given
it's already been there, Dave. Don't even worry about it. It's already been there. He was going to get $400 to $500 mil regardless. He's going to get
paid, especially his audition season for the Cubs is off to a flyer. He is.
Yeah.
He's been phenomenal. In fact, let's get on to this week because we're going to see Kyle Tucker this week for the Cubs. Mets, first of all, this week's going to see where we are because the Cubs, Dave, they're pretty much where we are right now. Our records are pretty much exactly the same. Also, they're 5-5 in the last 10. We're 5-5 in the last 10.
Their pitching is suffering.
Yeah,
their bullpen's terrible, and their starting pitching, they are down Justin Steele. So now it's like,
which is the big one.
Did you see their wild game the other night against the Diamondbacks? By 13-11.
That's because there was a jet stream. There was a jet stream above Wrigley, so anything that you put in the air was going out. Anything like that. That's how Wrigley is. Wrigley most of the time, because Chicago is so windy. Wrigley most of the time the wind blows in and actually suppresses home runs, which is why Shota Imanaga is such a great fit for that park because. The wind is blowing in. He's a fly ball pitcher, etc. That day, wind was blowing all the way out. When that happens, good luck being a pitcher in Chicago. Like, genuinely, good luck. It's a nightmare.
Well, and the Phils have two daytime games. For the Friday and Saturday are both, they're early in the US. For us, be daytime. And then Sunday, it's a Sunday night game. What? Robbing us of a UK friendly. But the pitching matchups, it looks interesting actually, but the Mets series is the one. Now, it is tough. Mets. For all we were saying at the start of the season, where their rotation being horrible. Wow, how they've proved us wrong so far.
No. They've had
look at it. Like McGill's had a great start. Canning's had a great start.
Tyler McGill is.
We've seen really Peterson. Nice I think we are.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, it's Wheeler Peterson. I would really hope UK friendly, by the way.
Tyler McGill has taken a great step forward, but it really, again, it's another one of those moments where it's like the Braves rotation last year, right? Like you're basically betting on Reynaldo Lopez, who is a converted reliever, and we've seen how those things can end up with Jordan Hicks and now Reynaldo Lopez on the IL, etc. But Clay Holmes is doing really well. Is it sustainable? I don't know. He definitely wastes a lot of pitches. Tyler McGill is taking a step forward. Great. I hope so. Good for him. They really needed that to come to fruition in order for their rotation to be any good. Griffin Canning is Griffin Canning. Just don't. It's Griffin
we
Canning.
know what happens. We make these guys look like all-stars all the time.
Yeah, it might happen. It really might happen. It might happen because it's the Phillies. But Griffin Canning is.
But we
Griffin
don't
Canning.
like
Kodai
Tyler
Senga.
McGill.
Yeah.
We don't hit this. I'm just looking
No,
at the
no,
matchups.
they
Bone's
don't.
got a good record against him. So is Casty. But and JT's not bad, but
It's gonna be
Bryce
rough.
has had 12 at bats, an average of .167. Kepler's never hit him. Rojas has never hit him. Stott's never hit him in 9 plate appearances. Turner's had a pretty good luck against him. Marchand's never seen him. Stevenson's never seen him. Souza, no, not good. Schwarber, terrible. We got to turn that around. Like, if we can win tonight, I think we win the series, actually, because I think we win that game 3.
I really, as I mentioned earlier, tonight seems like a lost cause. It really does. You're down the majority of your bullpen. No, really, you're down the majority of your bullpen. Like, I'm looking here at the heat report for the Phillies bullpen, and Orion Kerkering could be available, but he threw 24 pitches yesterday. Strom will not be available, and Alvarado will not be available. So you're literally you're counting on the back 5. If it is not a laugher offensively, you're counting on the back 5 who have been just dreadful. So
cheers, Alex. Really... sign up for this one then.
I think if we win 3 this week, I'll be happy.
Oh, I'll take the
out
split,
of 6. Yeah. 2 wouldn't be the end of the. Obviously, I'd want to win 6, but I think even 2 wouldn't be the end of the world, just with who we're playing and how things are at the minute.
No, I always go into road series saying if we can at least split them, I'm generally happy. If we can get 3 out of 3 wins, especially then with some more tough games coming up when we get back to the bank. I think we've got, the Nationals are coming to town after that, actually. So that's an opportunity. And then the D-backs are 13-9 as we speak.
Rays. We got the Pirates in May as well. Like, it's not too bad coming up.
The schedule sort of goes our way, actually, in May. Well, it should. Who knows? I can never... I've given up even foreseeing future schedules anymore. You just don't know. This Cubs series, by the way, Friday, 7:20 start for us in the UK, 9:05 for the Cubs. I presume we'll be seeing what? Luzardo, possibly Walker. We've thrown in there. I don't know what they're going to do, actually. It could be Luzardo. The day off on Thursday, it could be Luzardo, Nola.
It's probably going to be Nola, right? It's got to be, something to that effect.
And it's a day off Monday as well. So we don't play on Monday either. So, the Phils have got 2 days off, which is much needed, especially for the bullpen. That's going to be massive.
Yeah, very much so.
You know what? I'm going to say I think we win this Mets series. I don't know what's wrong with me. I got a feeling we win tonight because everyone's backing us to lose tonight. So you know what? I'm saying the Phils win.
A lot of people will be listening to this after the game's already happened. So
this Mets team is struggling offensively right now. Their bullpen, their starters look good. They're sluggish. They're not firing. If Nola can have, I don't know. I suppose we didn't get Nola. But if he can go 7 innings, I think it's how far he can get into a game and just save his bullpen. And if he can keep us in the game, fantastic. If we've got a lead going, I'm talking myself out of it the more I speak. No, we're going to win. And the Cubs can go either way. I actually fancy ourselves at Wrigley as well. I think the Cubs are starting to tail off a little bit from their hot start.
I think they're missing Imanaga, which is, I think they're going to dodge Shota Imanaga, which is great. I'm pretty sure because he pitches tomorrow.
He
pitches tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So theoretically, they should dodge him, right?
Yeah,
that's what my brain is saying.
Have they got a day off on Thursday?
They're pro pitchers, Imanaga and Boyd, and then they don't have. Yeah, they've got a day off Thursday.
Okay, so they do. They are throwing.
Sunday we'll see him.
Imanaga and Boyd, I guess. So. Or you mean for Thursday? Yeah. So it feels like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They'll probably get Ray, Brown, and Tyone because the Cubs are playing the Dodgers. So the Cubs are going to throw their best at the Dodgers, and then everybody else. That's a brutal back-to-back offensively, at least. But it feels like they're going to see Ray, Brown, and Tyone, which that they should win that Cubs series 100%. If that's the pitching matchup that they're facing. that it should be a
No,
no-brainer.
it's going to go.
So-
I know exactly. We're going to beat the Mets and lose the cup.
Right, exactly.
But
Yep.
it's certain as Castillo going yard tonight. That's
The good thing is the great thing is with when you face the Cubs, it really isn't over until the bell rings because that bullpen is dreadful. It is so bad. I mean, it really it's a rough one. So there's hope. There is hope.
yeah. Well, let's have a look. Guys, over this time next Monday, we'll be celebrating 2 series wins. Hey, if that's the case, we're gonna be well, and the Nationals come to town straight after. Oh boy, we're gonna be on high alert.
We will be so back.
But we yeah. Although you watch us, we'll win these 2, we'll lose to the Nationals. we know how it works. The feels consistently inconsistent. That's how we keep rolling. I've got my marathon Sunday. If you're in London Sunday, either come down to Passyunk afterwards for a few beers, or chin me on the route. You won't miss me. I'll be in full Phillies uniform from head to toe. It's going to be hot, slightly dreading it. I haven't really ran in the conditions that are forecast for Sunday. It's going to be 20 odd degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. It's warm. It's very warm.
That's like
when you're wearing pants.
70s, right?
What's that?
70s.
70s. It's going to be 70. Yeah.
60. Well, 2068. So yeah.
Yeah.
I might call it 70. Yeah, we'll say 70s for more effect. Plus, it's London. It's all built up. It's going to be a hot one. So if you can get out to the streets, if you're around, come cheer me on. It'd be really, really appreciated. We'll come meet for a beer afterwards. And if you are internationally listening, Philly Sports International has officially launched. It is live. www.phillysportsinternational.com, where you can sign up, and lots of benefits already. And we're only just adding to it. Our aim is to bring fans from all over the world closer to your favorite Philly sports teams. We want to work with Visit Philly, Discovery Philly, try and get offers, discounts on people staying. Obviously, I've got my links for the Phillies. The British and Irish Eagles have their links. Ben at 76ers UK 76ers has got his links. We want to make it more accessible to people traveling from international to go visit and see our teams in action.
Great time to be a Sixers fan.
Yeah.
Hop on that bandwagon.
And Flyers, yeah.
Hey, the Flyers will be good.
Actually, it is a good.
Or at least better.
To be a Flyers fan.
Flyers are fun.
Yeah.
I love it.
Mitchell's been incredible.
I loved it. And we've got so many big plans. We've got a lot of giveaways happening already. We've got the raffle, the early bird raffle already. Some great prizes. We've put a lot into this. A lot into the website. A lot into so many meetings in the off season, getting this up and running. A lot's got into it, and it's going to get big. Discounts at Passyunk, fantasy baseball, fantasy leagues, WhatsApp groups. Brilliant website that we're all working hard and contributing towards as well. Digital vlogs and guides to Philadelphia are coming. And what we want to do is make it worldwide, put out there bars where you can watch the Phillies from around the world, link up community groups around the world, try and set up some community groups. Like I would love to get, I know there's a lot of fans in Australia. I'd love to get an Australian fan group going and somewhere where we can meet there. I'm aiming to do more meetups in the UK. Manchester, May the 4th, Manchester, Bank Holiday Sunday. No excuse not to be there unless you are traveling. Well, I'm traveling 4.5 hours to be there. So
yeah, I'm only traveling 1 hour, so it's a nice change for me then. I happen to go to London.
I know there's going to be a good crowd up there. There's already a lot of people saying they're going to come along. There'll be giveaways at that event as well. Brotherhood of Pursuits and Pastimes. Is that right, Richard?
That is correct.
There you go.
I was just trying to find one of the things, but I can't find it.
I should have had the graphic screen.
I thought I had it by me, but I don't know.
Planning one in Edinburgh as well at some point in the summer, which will be a lot of fun. Of course, Passyunk, we're going to get a big one there. When the Eagles schedule is released, we're going to try and do a big back-to-back event with the Eagles and the Phils on, and maybe the Sixers and Flyers in October come the crunch time of the season. And yes, look, Risk of the Sport, one of our giveaways. So the Phils have been very kind to me. Obviously, if you listen to the podcast, you can't see this, I'm well aware. But if you're watching on YouTube, bonus content right now.
Yeah.
As Richard is rocking the beautiful pink
very cool
Phillies bucket hat. So the Phil's been very kind and giving me a lot of the giveaways they're giving out this season that I've already got my hands on, plus the opening day t-shirts and some London Series stuff as well. So I'll be giving those away out as well as prizes and, of course, at the meetups as well. Richard, anything you want to add? I feel admin.
I think you smashed it. Yeah. I mean, Payne did well this week. Just briefly on him, 49 pitches. I think no runs. He might have given away 2 hits, but yeah, all right. Griff McGarry still not giving up any runs just in 12 innings. But...
I'm not.
Well, he did give up runs. He
went 9 innings straight across 3 games without giving up a hit. So
he did, but he gave up. He did give up 2 runs in his last start.
No,
unearned, but he did give up.
Yeah, no home runs.
Richard's face like
They were definitely.
I'll keep. I just know how much Dave loves him. So
luck of the Bucks.
I'm not getting sucked into it.
It's Dave's favorite section is the Griff McGarry watch.
Howard scarred me too much. It's not happening.
I certainly wouldn't.
Guys, if you like what you heard, please subscribe, like the YouTube page. The numbers have been fantastic of late, and thank you for everybody who is listening, subscribing. It means a lot. It genuinely does. There's so many fantastic Philly podcasts out there, but the fact that you're also choosing us to listen to, it generally means a lot. So thank you very much. We will see you next Monday where the Phils are going to beat the Mets. They're going to beat the Cubs, and we're going to be riding hot going into the homestand with the Nationals. From me, Dave Shaw, it is Ring the Bell. From Richard.
Ring the bell.
And from Alex, take us out, buddy.
Ring the bell, Dave.
Yes. Good night, folks. Beauty.